Tara Doyle here, the President and CEO of the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce. We are very excited to bring to you a special C-Suite series, which is based on the City of Puyallup City Council candidates. I've got my cohort today.
Hi, I'm Luke Corum. I'm with Bill Corum's Puyallup Nissan. I'm also on the board here at the Chamber of Commerce and help out this time of year with the candidate interviews.
Yeah, so we're really excited. You know, we are a robust chamber that really, wants to push as much information as we can out to you, particularly regarding our rule makers here at the city level and with a keen eye on our business interests. So producing this series is really much more of just providing you informative information about these candidates, learning more not just about their political platform, but where are their strengths, what are they going to bring to city council, what issues are most important. So that's for you to determine if that's the right candidate for you. So we have invited all of the candidates. Hopefully they'll all say yes, but that's what our mission here is, just to get this great information out to you to make a sound decision. So today, as our first candidate interview, I am very pleased to have Ms. Shellie Willis, who is running for the at-large position. She is currently the Senior Director for Workforce Central at the Collective Impact. She also has her own foundation, Redefining You. She is a 25-year veteran, so lots of military experience that she brings to the table, and just a real Puyallup resident that loves this community. Also on our board here at the Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce. Shellie Willis, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, I'm going to just start with kind of teeing you up with, hey, you've got a lot of things going on. You're a busy gal.
I'm not doing anything.
You lean
Absolutely
into
not.
the veteran support. You're so supportive of the business community, the work you're doing for Workforce Central. So why City Council?
Wow, that's a good question. We were talking a little bit earlier, and I said that's an easy question to answer. I always knew that I would land somewhere in civic leadership or somewhere supporting the community, but I also knew that it needed to be local. So like when you think about where you feel you can bring your best value, it's always interested me how everyone thinks that state level, getting to Congress, but I really think that the local level drives change upward. And if you can't connect with the community, if you can't connect with what's going on, and you don't have your finger on the pulse of what's happening and how you can affect change, then you're missing a whole lot. You can't wait until later to do that. I think that we drive change and we work in partnership with our leaders that are up the chain in those other spaces. So local level has always been the best space for me, being boots on the ground, more grassroots invested in that way. So yeah.
Great.
That's why.
I love it. And so $18,000, that's a pretty impressive dollar to have raised at this short window. In what ways have you gone about asking? It looks like it has been very much a grassroots effort.
Yeah.
With a lot of individuals liking what you have to say, what your message is.
Yeah, really, going into, as you know, this journey, you're very familiar, going into different endorsement interviews and talking to friends, family, community members and the like, and they have come with a lot of support, and I'm very, very, very grateful for the support that we've received and what we're continuing to receive. And it's important to me. I was a senior financial, so I was finance in the U.S. Army. Okay. So being a good steward over the money that the public does invest in us and what we do have to use is important to me. So making sure that we use the money that we raise to really reach out, do our outreach, and find unique ways to connect and do that in a smart way, in a very fiscally responsible way. But it's a big deal. That's a lot of money. It makes, kind of like, okay, how do we need to, spend this money? I'm a first-time candidate, so I'm trying to make sure we cross the T's, dot the I's, and just do right by the citizens' dollars that they've invested in me, and I really appreciate that.
What drew you to Puyallup? You mentioned you were brought here by the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
And there's lots of fun places to live in this area. What is about Puyallup that made you settle here with your family?
It's central.
Yeah.
I knew, I work in Tacoma, so once my husband and I retired from Joint Base Lewis McChord, we lived in Lacey. So I was driving for the first 7 years post-retirement from Lacey to Tacoma. And so working in Pierce County and being responsible for a lot of the workforce initiatives in Pierce County, I knew I needed to be somewhere closer. maybe not in Tacoma, maybe, you know, and I had to think about what would get my husband to say yes. So, I mean, I'm just saying, what would get my husband to say yes? And so Puyallup landed, and we just happened to, a gentleman that was, they were building another set of homes off of Fruitland, and it was the same exact gentleman that we had met 3 years prior when we were thinking about buying a home the first time, and we were looking in Lacey. We were just trying to figure out if that's what we wanted to do. So fast forward, it just kind of worked out. It just landed. And Puyallup has always been on my map anyway from a workforce perspective, and I wanted to get to know more about the community, and I found myself doing a lot more things in this East Pierce County area, and Puyallup is thriving. So we just landed here, and we landed in a new housing development, and I love it. And we're on I always say the rural side of Puyallup. We're on the State Fair side. It's a little more quiet on this side, and I knew I could get my husband to buy into that. So, and it had to be a new home, Luke. It had to be a new home.
What was your first introduction to Puyallup city politics, or something that maybe made you go down to City Hall or contact a local official that maybe was the genesis to your journey where you're at now?
We had moved into our new home, and it was COVID, and I happened to catch the Puyallup City Council on PCTV. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Let me learn more. And I was like, trying to figure out I've always tried to figure out how can I get connected to the city of Puyallup where our workforce development efforts are concerned. And of course, you know, there's a high dense population of military families and veterans, retired families here in this area. So for me, it just lined up. I was able to, we're coming out of COVID. I get connected to Tara, to the chamber through other peers we are doing our community engagement task force work with the workforce board. And through that diversity, equity, inclusion work that we were doing, I finally met the executive director for the mall that I've had on my vision board forever. I've always wanted to put a WorkSource site in the South Hill Mall. These things are not mistakes. These are things that were in alignment. So it's just been this perpetual growth and journey to get here. And it just lined up to where I was able to get in alignment and meet the right people to finally have the conversations to get us here. And it got my family here. And it just made sense. So I've been excited. It's exciting. Yeah.
With your the work you do with Workforce Central, and also, you know, you've got some intel now serving on a commerce board. So
Yeah.
really, again, through the business lens.
Yeah.
So what's that sort of gap in efficiency, would you say, you see at the city level that is sort of underserving this area from a rulemaking perspective, from just, again, a city council support perspective that you hope to kind of maybe bridge that gap or lean into a little bit to improve?
And I think, you know, as you know, we've been working really hard to, like, how do we get business owners to want to, you know, bring their businesses here? That's been the topic of conversation. Why is it so hard to develop here? What are things that we can work in collaboration with our city officials, our local elected officials, to get things to really truly improve processes? I think that they're working on improving those processes, although it may seem slow moving, but at least there's intention there. But what I like about the role that we play, or that I've been able to play, is being able to have those conversations, or even ask some of those hard questions around how, you know, what are we doing to really improve and relieve some of the pain that business owners are feeling when it comes to impact fees, permitting? I mean, just building a house here and working with the supervisor over our build, I heard constantly is challenges with these permits. We're so sorry things are taking so long. We're hoping to meet your date so you can close on your house. So as a new homeowner, I was feeling the impact of some of the slower things that were happening. Now, taking into consideration, I would love to say, well, maybe that was COVID, but historically it has always been a challenge. So what I'm hoping I would be able to do is kind of bring some more of that community voice to the table and say, you know, we really need to be talking more about our business owners' journeys, not when where there's smoke, there's fire. So I don't want to talk to a business owner when there's fire. I don't want to talk when they're extremely upset. I want to meet them like, what is the pain point? What more can we do? How do we do that? And the Chamber of Commerce has played a great role in that. So we've been able to have some great conversations. So I'm hoping that we have improvements in those areas to where business owners change the narrative of don't build here, don't come here. I don't like that, because it is a beautiful city to be in. And I want to be able to be a part of the change and the pivots we need to make to change the narrative of, yes, you want your business here. Yes, you want to build here. Yes, you want to live here. Yes, you want to spend your money here. That's what I want to be a part of.
Love it.
With city council, what do you envision like your time while you're in session, obviously, and there being like, obviously everybody knows it's not for the money. There's no money in this job. What do you see your day like, and setting yourself aside from maybe the typical city council person, where you're going to put some of these gifts that you do have into it?
Well, I guess I'll be able to learn more about that when I'm in it.
Yeah.
You know, right now that would be a definitely a magic wand. You know, I'm only would be working off of assumptions of what their day would be, of what their day is like, and what they actually have to, how many documents do they have to go through, how many laws do they need to read. I know that city council meetings shouldn't go till 10 o'clock at night. I know that. Yeah. I know that. It's not efficient. So where are we? I'm excited to learn where we can be better, and where I can lend some assistance in improving those efficiencies. And hopefully my peers on city council they might have wanted these things always, and maybe there's just some support there that I can bring some talents and skills that could help move things along, that won't make it seem so, so laborious, right? It is a commitment, but yeah.
Here's maybe a better question. Now you're in full campaign mode. So you've been campaigning, talking to residents. What are some common themes that you're hearing from the residents, since you're running at large, so you're running for the whole city, that you've heard that concern you, that maybe you want to try to take care of?
Right now, what we've been talking about, of course, is public safety, but not the building, which is really interesting. They're not bringing up I'll ask about the public safety building, and they're like, yeah, that's great, but, I think I want to see speed bumps, some way to slow people down when they're coming through here. Children are outside playing, and when they come off the main road and they come into the corridors of the community, they're going too fast. How do we do that? Hey, do you think that you could talk to them about this traffic light up here, I guess by the fairgrounds, or where like the timing of the traffic lights are not good, the flow. So I'm getting different things around what people's definition of public safety are, where their focus is, and in support of just trying to say, hey, what do you think about the new public safety building? And then the conversation just kind of goes this way around public safety as a topic overall. And those are some of that's really been like one of the top things, just identifying, gun responsibility, and how do we, what are we, people assuming that there's crime here. This city is not untouched with crime. We've experienced some very horrendous things that are very disturbing, that we want to be cautiously aware of. And it's not happening from any specific demographic. It's just that it is happening, and we have to be aware of. And so knowing that we have to do our best to police one another, and just, kind of like in the military, we say stay alert to stay alive. If you see something, say something, and, have citizens invest where they live. And it's 3 different distinct districts. Each one of them have something distinctly different going, similarities and not, from the hilltop all the way down here to the valley. And every perspective is different on what they see is important to them. So I'm just slowly starting to find those things out. But that's been the topic so far.
You mentioned gifts, and you mentioned sort of talents and treasures. I guess, could you elaborate a little bit more about your strengths you feel you will be bringing to the current makeup of the city council?
I love that I work in collective impact work, but it has allowed me, I convene and collaborate a lot with community, specifically here in the Puyallup community, where we've had multiple partnership summits with our local resource, community-based organizations, grassroots organizations, and some state agencies have been involved. School districts have been involved with these, trying to find out the ecosystem makeup of what this end of Pierce County has to offer that's impacting all of our surrounding cities specifically. So what I know that I bring is the ability to find that collaborative voice. What is the equitable result? I synthesize very well. I'm able to really look across and listen to what everyone has to say, and try to find some sort of equitable response to, some response that's going to get us to an equitable result. Something that's going to give everybody want them to invest in what we're doing. And so it's unique. It's no agenda attached to it. It really is about the people. I think at this level, we have to ask the community what they want. And it has to be more than just once or twice a month when we meet. We have to be out there. We have to be talking to them. By nature of my profession, I'm always out here. And I find myself out here in this East Pierce County area more, and I'm connecting even more. So I believe that ability is what I would bring.
I've witnessed that. I've witnessed you being a very good listener, and do have that capability, that blessing to synthesize the information and maybe then provide that segue to continue that conversation or expand it out, or maybe even help the lenses in the room to see it a little differently. I think that is one of your superpowers.
It's also about making sure, one of the best things I love about, I'm a process improvement junkie, and I love design thinking and using design thinking as a tool, because design thinking starts with empathy. Empathy means that you really have to, you're triggering an emotion, but you wanted that emotion to be a positive one, a positive experience. But you also have to lean into accountability. And so that means that we have to really kind of start structuring ourselves where we're saying we're going to do something because we heard you. And there are plans being created. There are a lot of plans, working on the strategic plan. We have the, environmental sustainability action plan, all these things, because climate change, green spaces matter. We want to make sure that our river and streams are great. And those plans come with timelines and action and accountability attached to them. And I think those are great ways to create inclusivity, to get our community more engaged and involved. So it's not just where you create a plan and then it goes on the shelf to say we created the plan. I really want to see those things happening, and I want to see us actually using the community as a part of that, those shifts and those changes that I believe that they're planning on making, and everything's in process. So I'm excited to be a part of that. Yeah.
Well, I have some fun questions about the city of Puyallup that maybe you can answer.
No.
Just to connect
Oh,
with me.
you said fun.
Favorite place to eat or have coffee around town?
So my favorite place is Elements.
Yay.
Yeah.
It really is. My favorite spot is Elements. It's quaint. I don't have anything against any other place specifically, but I love the vibe. And it was one of the first places that I met my chamber ambassador. So that was my first time going to Elements, and I just fell in love with it. And who doesn't like a good acai bowl? Or a nice good, but it's also then meeting the owners and connecting with. So I use it as like my little meeting spot, my little hub. I like to meet people there or just pop in and out. So Elements is my favorite place, and then my second favorite place to go to is Mazatlan, because I need queso.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need queso. And then through the Wind Down Wednesdays, I'm learning some different spots that I'm actually referring people to. And then, of course, I love Bourbon Street. I love Bourbon Street. Yeah.
Those are all great.
And the last fun question, is there any parts of Puyallup, nature parts, that people would be surprised if they walk there, like maybe a trail or a
If
pond?
you go to Clark's Creek South,
Yeah, okay.
I didn't like it when my trainer made me do it, but I did like those trails back there, and they have a beautiful dog park back there,
yeah.
and we've used it for some of our community task force engagement events, and I've been back there for some other things that we've done, and of course when going back there for some little different fun events with my trainer. But those trails are beautiful back there, and a couple of times my daughter and I braved the Puyallup Trail walking through, and I was like, oh my gosh, you find so many things. Like I found the community garden, and I didn't these are some beautiful spots. But yes, I would say Clark's Creek Park South.
Especially this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love it. I love it. So one question, in the at-large position, your candidate, Renee Gilliam, a formidable candidate, bright, great, well-intentioned, just like you. I'm always kind of looking at in what ways can we offer our listeners a way to look at or distinguish you two.
This is what I would say to that, and she is a great person. I need people, no matter where we are in the world, I need us to let go of the origin story. I have been literally all over the world by serving my country. I've been able to be exposed to so much, and the origin story is great, but it also stagnates your vision and your growth. Right? It's kind of like we keep this steady train moving forward, and it kind of just moves at the rate that we want it to move, versus when you bring people in that have a different lens, they've had different experiences. It's kind of like whether you want to hire internally or externally, because do you need some fresh eyes on something, or do you want, it's great, but that's what I know that I bring. That's our distinct differences. It will always be, born here, from here, but that can be good to a fault. And then there's those of me, I'm not married or jaded by anything. I'm coming in and I just have a lot of I believe in this city. And when I moved here and I got to connect with all of you and I'm in these different spaces, I really see the vision, and I can, like, I'm all in of what it's becoming. And I remember the first thing I said, like, this is a metropolitan pass-through. This place is booming. I can see the possibilities. So that would be, for me, our distinct differences of, and not to say that there is no vision to want things to grow or see things differently. I think it's just the approach and the fact that nothing would hinder me from wanting to take a risk to do something that would really, catapult our city into even more. The goal is to make this a destination of choice, right? We want people to make Puyallup a destination city where they come, and we're doing city to city tours. We're seeing we're making comparisons with other similar locations who are really making some bold moves, and they've done some great things. And we've already started doing some of those things to make this a destination city. So how do we keep doing that, and get people to believe and invest in it in a unique way? And I believe I know I bring a unique spin and perspective on that is re-energizing, it's vitalizing, and re-emphasizing what I know this city is and is becoming. So that's why.
That's good. So Renee, and it's just you two in this race at large. So there's no primary, so you're going to be going into the
general.
The general. So where do people come see you, have questions, to come talk with you? Where do you like to meet constituents, I should say?
I meet people everywhere. So I don't even want to label them constituents. I'm in Safeway and I'm like, well, where do you live? Oh, well, you know what? So people for Shellie Willis, social media, website, everything. You can find me there, and I'm all over. I'll be making announcements about where we're doorbelling. Everything's out there for you to find me. I'll be at the Daffodil Bowl this Friday hosting a fundraising and engagement event. So, we're going to meet. We're going to have some good fellowship and fun. Come out, bring a friend. But yeah, I'm everywhere, and I don't meet a stranger, Luke. I don't even, my glasses will make you ask me questions. Yeah. So I connect with, I'll talk to anyone about anything, and it's not about agreement or disagreement. This is a nonpartisan race. This has nothing to do with party. This has to do with people and what is our best interest, and where our best interest lies, and how do we serve the people. And it's not about me or any agenda I could ever have. I've always been that way. I want to meet you where you're at. So if that's me coming to your house, if that's me coming to your community or whatever, I'll come wherever you need me. So it's not just where I'm at, it's where you're at. So that's how we're going to do that.
Oh, that's good.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the endorsements that you've received thus far?
Yes, I just got my TNT endorsement yesterday. I was very honored to receive the TNT's endorsement yesterday. Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, they tell me that's huge. Yeah. They say that. Yes.
Yeah, they have a good.
Wow. And of course, just recently, the Teamsters Joint Council, Teamsters 28, their Joint Council, the PCCLC, the SEIU 1199 Northwest Healthcare Workers Union, Alliance for Gun Responsibility. I just received their endorsement as well, and some more. I just have to run the list.
Yeah.
The first one was the WIA PAC, our Washington Education Associations. That was my first endorsement interview. I did receive their endorsement as well. And the IUPAC, and see, by nature of my work, I also, we're just, I'm all over the place. But yeah, these are some of the endorsements. We are updating the website as we get them in, and of course on social media we're making those announcements. So I hope I didn't forget anybody, but charge it to my head, not my heart. But I'm very, very grateful, very, very humbled. I'm a first-time candidate, but I love local, and I'm just excited about the journey, and I'm very humbled and honored to just receive the support that I am receiving and will continue to receive. And when I'm in there, I want to be a goal for some other child who just never thought that was something that they could achieve. It's important. It's important.
I was going to kind of tee it up to kind of wrap up with a great statement, but I feel like you just gave us a great statement. I guess I'm going to go ahead, though, and still give you that opportunity. So whether issues or again, just something we might not have touched upon that we should know about you. I don't know that we touched much about some of the volunteer and other organizations you're involved with as well. So if there's some of that to kind of round us out that you'd like to mention, please feel free to do so.
I just believe that I think I've said like pretty much everything that I say as far as I'm a veteran. I'm a woman. I'm a veteran. I'm a black woman, and I'm a veteran. So you just put all those things together in this world today. I'm an ambassador and advocate for everything connected to me. So it is important to me that I am representative of everything, from the person that does my hair to the person that does my nails and everything in between, which means that I take care of and honor everything connected to me, which is what I want to do for this city. And in the most boldest, bravest way that I can each day, not knowing that I don't need to have all the answers, but I am doing the work, and I'm going to continue to do the work. And regardless of whatever happens on November 7th, on November 8th, I'm still going to get up and keep doing what I'm doing today.
Right.
So this is not a made-up moment for me. This is what I do. It's what I live and I breathe. And running for city council now is just the ante up. It's another level, another space that I get to be in for the people. And it's my city too. So I get to invest in what we know we need. So
Great.
I'm here to stay regardless.
Well, we're blessed to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, Luke, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks for
You're an
letting me help
important
Yeah, well,
stakeholder in the
thanks.
community and always bring some great insightful questions. Hey, good luck to you. You're
Thank you.
fantastic, great energy. Love all that you have to say always.
Thank you.
So this is about it for our very first C-Suite City of Council Chamber C-Suite series. We'll be releasing these as we interview, so stay tuned just to hear from everyone. Like Shellie and Luke mentioned, her particular race with Renee will really play out in November. We do have another race that is soon to be determined with the primary, so hopefully we'll get to those candidates sooner so we can make some decisions to go from 3 to 2 in that particular